Hello, welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports and another Rev review. Today, I'd like to talk to you about this company here, which up to this point, I've trusted their products for other usage, but this is the first time that I'm looking at using their sealant product. If you've been following my channel in the past, you'll know that I did a review, or I did basically a what's the best lube to use, chain lube to use, and I chose this product because it's so simple to use, and yet its efficacy is off the charts compared to so many of the other much more complicated ways of lubing your chain. All right, anyway, before we get into the topic of the day, if you would please subscribe to the channel, like the video so YouTube sees that it is a relevant video, and we'll start promoting it. That's happened before. It's happened with this chain lube video that got pushed out quite a bit, and you know, my analytics showed a huge bump in viewership and also some subscribers as well. So if you came to my channel because you saw this video, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. And we talk about things like new products. We also do service on bikes, and we do things like that. So if that's interesting to you, go ahead and like and subscribe. Right, let's move on. This is a ammonia-free product. So if you've been using some other sealants, and maybe it's a little, the smell is a little strong for you, maybe you may want to go with this type of product. I'm curious because they do make really good, they make an exceptional chain lube, and so I'm wondering how they do on the sealant world. And you know, a lot of sealants work well for mountain bikes. The pressure's really low. Most people are riding no more than 30 psi on their tires, and so if you get a puncture, even if it's a sizable puncture, the sealant will pretty much work on mountain bikes. And I would say 95% of the people riding a mountain bike are running their tires tubeless. That's my experience here in the shop. Now, on the road side, things have always been sketchy. They don't always work. And the challenge is that higher pressure that is in a road tire. So even when you're running tubeless, you're still going to run possibly 80 psi, 90 psi maybe if you're a larger rider. As the tire width gets bigger, you're going to reduce the pressure, of course, but 80 is a far cry from the 30 that is being used on a mountain bike side. So a lot of tire sealants just don't seem to work very well. It's just my experience. Anyway, they have this, if you've eagle eye, you've probably seen this little guy here. That is what they call BeadBlock, and you can buy that separately. So this full container, which is 1 liter, they're saying that this is proportional based on how much you're going to use. And actually, one other thing, they claim that the tire won't stick to itself, which is interesting because if you've ever let your tubeless tire completely deflate and the bead pop off, the tire tends to stick to itself, and it is nearly impossible to pull it apart while still have it attached to the rim and then try to air it back up, because the tire is now stuck to itself and it's hard to air it back up and make it seat against the rim again. Anyway, getting back to this BeadBlock. Now this here is supposed to help with sealing, and it says to only use half a lid, but I purposely put on these mechanics gloves so that you could hopefully see the contrast and see the size of these guys. They're really, really small. And I'll try to bring it in a little bit more, and hopefully you can see that. But they're really, really small, and you're only supposed to use half a cap, and these caps are fairly small too. So I'm curious how that's going to work. And the reason why I am experimenting with another tire sealant is because I had a tire this weekend that I had used this, and this is the Muck Off product. And in the shop, the first time that I inflated it wouldn't hold. It had a little tire, it had a little cut just as the tire transitions from the crown down towards the sidewall. So it wasn't a legitimate sidewall cut, nor was it a crown cut. So it's kind of like on the shoulder of that. And it wouldn't hold 80 PSI here in the shop. And I was going graveling with it, and it's a road tire because I was going to do a gravel type climb that's 8.5 miles, 4,200 feet of climbing. So about 9.4 average grade for that 8.5 miles. And then that lets out to a road, and then I was going to descend down the road portion, or this is Palomar Mountain, so it's called Nate Harrison grade on the dirt side, and then you descend down south grade of Palomar. So I put this in there. It struggled the first time here in the shop to seal, so then I put more sealant in. It seemed like it was going to hold. I needed a 28 tire to hold about 60 PSI so I could ride the dirt with it on my Ritchie road bike. Well, about half a mile from the top of the climb, I could feel the front end was getting really soft, and then it finally just, I was riding on the rim. So that didn't work. Had to dump out all that sealant, put in a tube and a tire boot, and then get home. So I'm very curious if just putting this and this little, these little BeadBlock particles in there, if that's going to help seal this tire. It's literally brand new except for that little cut. So I've got a lot of life left on this tire if I can save it. Yes, I could use a plug. Yes, I could use either the stands plug or something else, but I'm trying to see what are the limits of some of these tire sealants. And they claim 6 millimeters, a 6 millimeter cut that they can seal up. So let's see if that works. So once again, this is the Squirt Seal with BeadBlock, and I will put this into one of the tires and see if it works, and I'll report back. If I can, I'll try to actually do a video. Hopefully I can have a customer or a friend hold the camera and take a video of it. But that's all for today. I appreciate you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Please smash that notification bell so that you know when I've posted another video. And in the meantime, we will see you up the road.